we can get going. I am here. Hey, Susanna. Hey, Glenn, David, Ryan, and Claudia. This is Tom Truong. We are trying out a new format today for Sunday Executive Overview, where I am here to really just help you guys answer your questions. If you have guests here, or if we have guests on the call who have seen the program at least once already, I'm here to help you answer any questions, concerns, go through some maybe a little bit of detail. I'm not going to take a deep dive into a lot of questions. I might, depending on what they are, I might point you in the right direction and give you links to where you might be able to look for the information. And so the goal here is, for the next hour, I'm here to help you with agent attraction, with explaining the eXp Realty program, so on and so forth. So without further ado, why don't we just go ahead and get going? I've got some other leaders on the call as well. I've got Trey Fullen, who does our Thursday executive overview, right, Trey? So, anytime whoever wants to answer any questions and fill in the blanks and give us your opinion, your comments, your perspective, we'd be happy to hear it, because we can all learn from one another. So without any further ado, why don't we get going? Jason Lee, welcome to the call. Who's got questions? Who's got comments? Who's got anything? I'm not going through the executive overview, because we have 3 executive overviews going on now on a weekly basis. We have it on Tuesday executiveoverview.com, Wednesday executiveoverview.com, and Thursday executiveoverview.com. So figured among the 3 of those, that's more than enough as a first introductory presentation. We have not done sort of a 3-way group call for us to answer questions, and that's what this format is about tonight. And if it goes well, we're going to keep going with it. Who's got questions? Who's got comments? Agents, if you have comments, questions, let me know. I'm here for you. Otherwise, it's going to be a short call.
Just wanted to say thank you, Tom, for kind of doing a new format with this. I think it's pretty neat to have a way to kind of engage with people. It's easy to let them kind of die on the vine once they've seen the overview. So it's good to re-engage and have a place you can bring them, get their questions answered, and have great people like yourself to give them great input.
Excellent. Yeah, and if we have guests who don't want to ask specific questions, you can go ahead and just use the chat feature and chat me privately. And if it comes into me privately, I won't basically say who's asking the question, but I'll basically answer the questions for you. And if you guys have guests here, and you know that your guests have specific concerns, questions, then feel free to ask me the question, and we will, as a group, answer them for you.
Yeah, mostly I've just been listening in. In a market where we have, excuse me, only a small amount of eXp agents compared to other companies, and a couple of the agents that have been here for a few years are not so well liked. So the conversations with people, it's a little tough getting people to be open to it. And I don't know if you have any suggestions on maybe ways to get around that, to at least get them a little open-minded to it, because they're one of the first things they always hear, well, do we have to work with so-and-so? Well, no.
All right. Great question. Great comments, David. Yeah. So if and when I come across that, the way I would answer the question is, I would say, you know what, for me as a real estate professional, as a seasoned guy who's been in the business for a while, for me, it doesn't matter what the name of the company is, frankly. I don't care if it's ABC, CBS, XYZ, EXP, EXIT, KW, CWB. I don't care what it is. What's most important for me is having the tools, having access to the training, to the systems, to the lead generation that this platform provides. And if tomorrow a new company comes along and they provide me with the tools, training, system, support, lead generation that is far superior than anything else that I currently have, then I will be the first guy to move my entire team over. Is that fair? And so not all real estate agents are built equally. right? Not all real estate agents are superstars. And so, I'm sure where you are in your office, not everyone is a superstar. You've got some winners and you've got not so winners. And so do you really gauge your success based upon others, or do you really look at your own talents, your own skill set, and leverage the platform that's available to you to take your business to a whole new level? And I'd love to share with you what I see in terms of having a platform that's accessible to me and to you, for you to take your business to a whole new level.
Right, so kind of isolated to focus on themselves, even in their own office, and then being able to transfer that to a better platform.
That's how I see it, and I honestly mean that. That's not a sales pitch from my perspective. If tomorrow, if we as a company can't stay innovative and can't stay agile to make sure that we are giving our agents and providing the best tools, the best training, the best support, then I say it all the time. If you find a better program, you better call me first, because if you don't call me first, I'm going to be pretty upset at you for not calling me first. Because I wish Tracy Lewis or someone else had the guts to call me, 9 years ago when this company was founded. I'd be a bajillionaire right now, like Gene Frederick and Ralph Flick. All right, no one had the guts to call me until 22 months ago, which is Tracy Lewis. You know how many people told me, man, I was thinking about calling you, Tom, but I didn't think you were gonna want to join. Who are you to decide what I want to do and what I don't want to do? As soon as I saw it, I couldn't sleep for 3 days. And I joined on the 4th day, right? I joined on the 3rd day and I broke up a 13-year relationship. That's a pretty big deal. I know. They called me 3 years ago. There you go. You know how much? So, 22 months has cost me basically $4 million, right? In the last 22 months, I've built my net worth by an extra $4 million. That's a pretty big deal. So if you guys are not going after the heaviest hitters that you know in your market, guess what? I just might. And then you're going to kick yourself because you didn't talk to them.
Yeah, I've actually been working up to talking to one of the biggest teams with KW right now, and here they're about a $50 to $60 million a year team, and but the way I look at it is I'm only going to have one good shot at having an open conversation with them. So yeah, trying to make sure that I've got the knowledge and the replies and everything down before I open that door.
So my perspective on that, guys, is this system is so good that you really can't mess it up. Meaning, if you just sat with it and you hit play, I'd love for you guys to be able to go through the slides and show it. But if you can't, just hit play on one of the videos that you like, and then afterwards get Tracy on the line, get Scott on the line, get someone on the line, get me on the line if I'm available to help you with the 3-way call. Because if you're the superstar and you're the know-it-all, the people you are attracting might think they can't be like you, so they might not join. I'm always about leveraging and duplicating. But I hear you. When I speak with agents, it's really just to find out what their needs are, what their dreams, what their desires, what's missing in their business, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, what are they missing? What will it take to get their business to a 10? And then I go ahead and I come back to what our model has to give them the ability to have a 10 on a scale, right? A 10 on a scale to make sure that they are successful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, they have a big successful team. I just want to make sure that it's done in a way and just kind of a quick 5-minute conversation to book them to a 1-hour screen share with a phone call with somebody.
Yeah. Right. My highest success rate is one-on-one, not these big Zoom video calls. My biggest sponsors, my biggest agents that I've attracted to the business has been one-on-one. I flew from Massachusetts to Florida to meet with Adrian Petrella, who said no to me for 4 months. He actually said, F you, Tom, I don't want to hear about it, to be frank, right? He goes, I've been there, I've done that. I don't want to do real estate again. I've owned a brokerage like you own a brokerage. I'm never going back. And I lied to him. I said, Adrian, I'm going to be in your backyard. I'm going to be in Tampa in 2 weeks. Guess what? I lied. I was not in Tampa for 2 weeks, but I flew to Tampa. I got a hotel so I can sit with him and show him this program one-on-one, belly button to belly button, eyeball to eyeball, and he got in afterwards. I flew to California to meet with Carmen Truong. I flew to Dallas to meet with my guy in Dallas because I knew I had to be there one-on-one with them. How big is your dream, right? 22 months later, you know, so far this month, 7 days into the new month, I think I'm up to over $6,000 in revenue share. I should break through 20,000 this month because it's all relationships.
Do you think the biggest difference was getting in front of them and letting them see the model, or agents like that, because they don't know what they're saying no to?
Exactly, Trey. They don't know what they're saying no to. And if I'm going to fly clear across America to sit with them, they're going to take it seriously. I've driven, you know, I brought in Andrew Wu, who's on my level 3. He's a rock star out of New York. I drove 4 hours on a Sunday morning to have dim sum with him, to have basically Chinese brunch with him. And I had sat with him. We're supposed to be a 45-minute, turned into 3 hours, and I drove back the same day. How big is your dream? Are you guys willing to do that? I drove 8 hours that day to have a 3-hour meeting, and the guy got in, and now I got a big New York group.
It's awesome.
No one wants to be treated like a number. Do you guys want to be treated like a number? Who likes to be treated like a number?
Nope.
So don't treat people like a number. Right? I cared enough about these people to fly to them to show them what I was excited about. That make sense? All right, guys, what else? Give me your objections. Guess if you're here. You know, let me know. Okay, so if you are newer in the business, then what you got to do is you got to dive deep in the business. You got to figure out what you do best. You're good at lead generation. If you got to master something, right? Maybe you want to master KV Core. Maybe you want to basically learn how to generate massive amounts of lead using KV Core and show other agents how to generate leads, right? That's one of the things I'm doing now. Is I am talking to heavy hitting agents in my market who have said no, who've already seen the program, and I go to them and I says, hey, you've got a listing that is 30 days old, 45 days, 60, 90 days old. You haven't moved it. Would you give me permission to market your listing as if it were my own, all throughout my social media, and so that I can earn the buyer side of the commission? And most of them will say at the beginning, some said no because it was a fresh listing and they thought that they could double end the deal. Well, 30 days, 45 days, and 60 days into it, they're no longer confident. They're no longer cocky, right? So now what I'm doing is I'm taking their stale listings and I'm generating leads, and I'm showing them how much leads I am generating using KV Core. And now the mind is starting to think, well, wait a minute, Tom. You mean you can generate leads, and I'm not going to sell them their house because their house is probably overpriced or outdated or whatever, but I'm showing him that, you know, I am generating buyer leads, and I'm taking those leads using his house to sell them something else. Does that make sense? So if you guys do that, you can be a pro at generating leads, and it's you're walking the walk. You're not just talking the talk, right? I feel so confident about this business, guys. I just finished my national presidency for the Asian Real Estate Association of America, which means I just freed up 30 hours of my life a week, and I just hired a second full-time buyer's agent. I am paying her $50,000 a year to be my buyer's agent, right? And her job on a daily basis is to generate leads, is to post ads, is to make 2 hours of phone call to my sphere of influence. Because I know when I pay her 50,000, I'll make 100 off of her. So when you speak with conviction, you follow and you lead with your actions, results happen. What else you guys got? What other questions do you have? What roadblocks did you come across this week?
My biggest thing that I'm having a challenge with right now, Tom, is getting people who I've spoken with and had a phone call with and who have told me, yes, I'd love to hear more about the opportunity and have committed to a date to see the webinar, not showing up. That has been a very low conversion for me.
Yeah.
Any advice on how to
Yes.
tighten that up? And
yes, Trey. Don't drive them to Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Just ask them. I'll tell you what. When is good for you? I don't care what time, what day it is, Trey. All right. So when they say, tomorrow at 10 a.m., I can give you an hour, and then you say, yo, hold on 1 minute, let me check my calendar. All right. And then you're gonna check your calendar. Even if it's wide open, Trey, you say, you know what? I have something at 10:30, but I'm gonna move it for you. I'm gonna move it for you. I'm gonna be there at 10 a.m. So I'm gonna move and cancel one appointment just for you. Is there any reason that you will not be able to make the 10 o'clock tomorrow before I reschedule my appointment, my 10:30 appointment? Right?
I love that.
So you're building value. You're making your time valuable, but you're making sure that they feel guilty if they don't show up. And then just do a one-on-one Zoom call.
Okay.
Guys, for the first 100 days, all I did was Zoom call after Zoom call after Zoom call after Zoom call, if they were not close to me. Otherwise, I would just drive to them and show it to them face to face. And oh, by the way, I used to buy people lunches and dinners and breakfast, and it was a total waste of time, because when we ate a real meal, I never got to pull out my pen and paper and show them the program. So what I did after I learned very quickly was I had coffee with them at a Dunkin' Donuts, at a Starbucks, at a Panera Bread, where we just got coffee and maybe pastry, but then I can pull out a pad of paper and now show them the entire program. Okay, I can open up the computer and show them the PowerPoints. So that's what I suggest you do, Trey. Just book a one-on-one with them using Zoom, or better yet, drive to them, or meet
in person.
If you have posture, then tell them, to meet you halfway, because if they meet you halfway, that's a really good start. I did that a lot as well. Hey, you live here in this section of town. I live here in this section of town. Let's meet somewhere in the middle. You make them travel to you as a halfway as well. That gets them committed.
Okay. Thank you. I like that.
Yep. Your time is very valuable, guys. So make sure that they understand your time is valuable. And when you make an appointment, you're going to keep the appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Garza, welcome to the call, man. Glad to see you. Jennifer Salter. I'm here for you guys. What questions do you have? For those who are joining here late, if you didn't see my posts, we're trying a brand new format for Sunday Executive Overview, where I am here to answer questions for you and your prospects. Don't send prospects here for the first time if they've never seen the program. They should have seen the program at least once or twice or seen the video. And I'm here to help you guys answer questions. And other leaders who might show up will help you answer questions and comments as well. All right, what else you got? Who signed up for the 100-day fast start?
I did.
Two. I see two hands go up. I did. If you guys want to build it, I think Susanna did as well. I think I see 3 people. Ryan Moy did. That's 4. Beautiful. Right? 100-day fast start. I'm telling you guys, if you can make it through that program, it's going to be awesome. Your life will change. My goal is to go from, my goal is to get to pace after 100 days, $50,000 a month the rev share. That's what I'm going after. I'm currently pacing at about $20,000 a month. I hope three months from now, I'll be pacing at $50,000 per month rev share. We'll see. But I'm going after all the heavy hitters. I'm going after the biggest monsters that I'm afraid of.
I love it.
Yep.
That's the only way we grow, right? To get out of that comfort zone. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather today. Sounds like you might have some sniffles too there, Tom.
Yeah, man, I've been drinking too much today. It's my
The
birthday.
Patriots haven't even played yet, have they?
It's my birthday. I'm red. When I have the Asian blood. When I drink, I get red. But I sobered up about an hour ago to make sure I'm here for you guys.
Well, happy birthday, and that shows some commitment right there. Even on your birthday, giving us your time and insights, man. That's awesome.
It's success. I believe that most people in life can't get out of their own way because they allow excuses to happen. They just let things get in their way, and they come up with this excuse and that excuse and another excuse, and then before you know it, 30 years goes by and they're broke still.
Mm-hmm. Thinking, what if?
Yeah.
So when you're talking to some of these big teams, what are your biggest focus with them, and what you're talking about, and what they're been?
So, all right. Well, the biggest team I brought on was 30 agents, and after the dust settled, there were only 12 left. But I brought on plenty teams and offices, meaning about 4 of them that I can count that were very successful, with a size of between 5 to 10. Okay. The most recent one I brought in, his name is Freddie Gira. Freddie Gira is killing it right now. Down in Birmingham, Alabama. I met him at a real estate event, and I was speaking at the event, and he came to me afterwards, and I didn't know him from the hole in the wall. This is a day before shareholders, believe it or not. Okay. So he came to me and he goes, I'm pretty impressed with what you were talking about. It had to do with building sustainable housing for the Asian American community, and Freddie's Hispanic. But he loved what I was talking about. So he asked me, what do I do? And I said, these days I am looking for real estate professionals to grow a team internationally and nationally. He goes, tell me more. And then I started telling him about, how I have tools, how I have training, how I have, back then 400 brokers who work for me. And his eyes are like, what are you talking about? Your 400 people work for you. And then he goes, wait a minute, is this eXp? I'm like, what do you know about eXp? And then he says, well, some guy showed it to me a year ago, and, the numbers didn't make sense to me. And then I said, well, you know what, forget about eXp. I'm not here to talk about eXp. I'm talking with you about a system, about training, about support. And I got into his agency. He's a broker owner. And I asked Freddie, I said, Freddie, how long you been in business? Right? And he told me 10 years. I said, so after 10 years, how many agents do you have? I've got 8 agents. Okay, great. So can we talk turkey? I know we're just brand new. We're just meeting each other for the first time here, and this is a brand new relationship. But if you're real with me, I'll be real with you. Because I was a broker owner as well. I grew 4 offices, 92 agents the day I sold it. And when I sold it, I made 4 times earnings. I'm curious, if you sold your business today, what do you think it's worth? And he goes, man, I can't sell my business. My business is not worth anything. I said, it's interesting. So you've built this business for 10 years, and if you're going to sell your business today, it's not worth anything. So why are you in this business? Well, why are you a broker owner? Well, the agent's supposed to make me money. So I said to him, well, let's talk about that. So how much money are you making from the agents? Are you making at least $3,000 per month are you making at least $3,000 per agent per year? Net, after all your expenses, after all your headaches, after everything, are you clearing 8 times 3 is $24,000 a year? Silence. Most broker owners don't make $3,000 per agent per year, net. Right? I said, if I can show you a way where you can make $3,000 per agent per year without any of the liabilities, without any of the headaches, without you having to train them, without you having to cut any checks or audit any files or manage any transactions, would that intrigue you? He goes, yeah, that would intrigue me. I said, but that's probably not enough, right? 24,000, 25,000. What if I can show you to make 6 figures in a year? What if I can show you how to make $200,000 in a year? And he goes, now I'm intrigued. So I started to show him the plan. 45 minutes into it, Guys, I never used the word EXP for 45 minutes. He used the word EXP. It went one ear out the other for me. I talked to him about SkySlope, this transaction management system. I talked to him about DigiSign, this electronic signature. I talked to him about having 400 people on my payroll who audits the files, who helps with marketing and advertising. And I talk about these massive agents on the team who do all the training. And I talked about KV Core lead generation system. And I pulled up my computer and I Googled KV Core and I hit the play button on KV Core to show them the 6-7 minute preview of KV Core. And that's how we got started. At the end, he goes, okay, what is this? I said, guess what? It's Team Tom Truong. It could be Freddie Gira, brokered by eXp Realty. He goes, oh my God, are you serious? This is eXp? I'm like, yeah, this is brokered by eXp. The guy who showed it to you a year ago didn't know what he was talking about. Didn't share with you the numbers, didn't show you the revenue share program. That same sitting, I told him, now tomorrow, if you really want to build your dream, if you want to really chase your dream, I need you to get to Orlando. Excuse me, I need you to get to Las Vegas. That was shareholders. He goes, what, tomorrow? I says, yeah, man, cancel everything you are doing. And for the next 3 days, you need to come to Las Vegas with me. He pulled out his phone and he booked a plane ticket to go to Las Vegas. And I said, if you get to Las Vegas, I will pay for your room. And I did. He paid for his plane ticket and his registration, and I got his hotel. I picked up his hotel room. One day, not even one day, but basically after his first day, he filled out the paperwork, and we decided, and he came home and we moved his 8 agents over. He still has 8 agents, and he's now, I think, up to another 8. So he's up to 15 agents in his agency. How cool is that, right? Do you guys have the confidence to tell somebody to cancel everything to get to shareholders? Half of the people on this call didn't even go to shareholders or convention. So if you're not sold on it, how are you going to get people to be sold on it? I'm just being tough with you guys. What else do we have? Yes, Jennifer. What questions do you have? Bring it up. Let's go.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. So, okay, well, I just have some questions since it looks like most of us are already agents. So first of all, my husband's in real estate school now, 2 more weeks. We're both crazy, going to join the team. I just have just a general knowledge question. So I see now that I'm like 2 years in, I've kind of established myself and people are seeing that, you know, I'm selling, I'm doing business. And so I'm having a lot of agents reach out and I'm getting a lot of people to join that are newer agents. And that's wonderful. I love it. And I love supporting them. But, you know, I'm looking to get some top-notch high producers in my line. And I'm kind of curious how to do that because what I find is that basically the top producers are going with a lot more established agents that have a lot of systems in place. And while I have the eXp systems, I don't have my own systems in place. So how do I appeal to some of those larger producing agents?
Are you saying the larger agents are joining other eXp Realty teams and not you or other offices outside of eXp?
No, they're joining other teams in our local area. And, you know, and I know that people have been talking about it, but a lot of people in our area that are more established agents, high producers, they are incentivizing people to join with just some of their systems they put in place, you know, buyer presentations, seller presentations, getting them on one-on-one calls with some people, I guess, higher up in their line. And I think that's great. But I'm not sure that that I have all those systems in place yet. We have some people higher up in my line that you know definitely will get on calls and mentor just like we're doing here. But I was just kind of wondering, how do I appeal to those higher producing agents in that way?
Well, there's something fundamentally sort of wrong with the nature of the question. If you are the first person who showed them the program and you're stuck with them, what's the problem?
Right.
Maybe you aren't the first person to show it to them. I don't know. If you're the first person to fully sit down and show it to them, and they heard about eXp first from you, and then we've got a whole different issue. But if you aren't the first person to show it to them and they join somebody else, then that's fair game, right? So I don't know where you are with that, Jennifer. You know, we have a pretty fair system. I would never, you know, Jason Lee, Susanna, Claudia, they're in my business. I would never, Morella, they're all in my business. I would never, if I knew that Morella or Claudia sat down and showed the entire program to a rock star, and that rock star said, Tom, that's great, I want to join your team. Guess what? I'm going to say no. You can't. You get me anyhow, but you've got to join Claudia and Morella, because that's the right thing to do.
And I'd like to think that it's not cutthroat like that. I haven't gotten that vibe at all. I think more of the question is, I think the high producers are looking for other high producers, these big teams. And so, yeah, I don't find any of that. I think there's some excellent groups that we have here that just have a lot of agents, a lot of force. And so when they see it, it's very streamlined. So I think that for me,
I understand that piece.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know what else to say other than now you just got to go out and be a rock star, and you got to go out and be a rock star, and do more and get more exposure, get more social media exposure. Somehow sit on boards, volunteer, make sure you get speaking engagements. You know, you got to up your game. Honestly, I don't know. You know, it's unfair, but there's nothing wrong with that, right? The heavy hitters, you know, they're there for a reason. You know, they're heavy hitters for a reason. So just, I guess I would inspire you and encourage you to just up your game.
Yeah, I can totally appreciate that. I like the idea of joining the boards because, like I said, I love getting the newer agents, but I think that's a really good point, is to join some of those, the business networking groups and things like that, and really make myself known with other realtors, because my social media presence is more directed towards clients, which is helpful in getting people to come on. But yeah, I think you're right. I think joining the boards and professional networking will be definitely great.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, find out what your strengths are and try to go after it. Yeah. David O'Leary and Agatha Bung, look at you. All right, we have some questions here. Getting over the buzz around town that we are a scam, multi-level marketing from both brokers, realtors, and lenders. One agent told me last week I drank the eXp Kool-Aid. You know, having a buzz around town, I think, is a good thing. If you haven't listened to some of our objection handling about multi-level marketing and the scam, then you got to learn that lingo. You know, we are publicly traded on the NASDAQ. Most organizations are multi-level, right? The United States of America is a multi-level, led by the president. He's at the top of the food chain, and then everyone else is below him. Right? Most corporations has a CEO and chairman and founder. They're at the top of the food chain. Any real estate brokerage has someone at the top of the food chain in the pyramid scheme, in a multi-level scheme. So you've just got to learn how to answer that question. And you know, so drink the eXp Kool-Aid. I would say the same thing I say earlier, right? I don't care if this company's name is called eXp. Or XYZ or KW. It's what it can do for me and my family and my business. So that's how I usually answer that question. Because, you know, I don't drink any Kool-Aid. You know, I leverage the tools and the systems that's available to build my real estate business. Tell me about your tools. Tell me about what you have available to generate more leads than you can handle. Tell me, do you have 11 hours a day of live support? Can you get your questions answered in 10 minutes like I can? Any question. Let's talk about that. You know, if they're telling you you're drinking the Kool-Aid, then maybe you are. Maybe you're just, you know, you're wearing too much eXp, you're wearing on your hat, you're wearing on your clothes, you're wearing on you got a tattoo. I don't know. You know, don't do it then. Just talk about how successful you can be or how successful they can be in terms of improving their real estate income and improving their real estate career. Maybe try that angle. one thing I have done has helped lenders see the power of the lead generation to share with other agents is adding them to my KV Core. Yeah, absolutely, David. You want to share with the crew about that? I like that. Can you open up your microphone and share, David?
Yeah, so excuse me. Two lenders that I work with that I know work with a lot of other big teams and agents. I added them to my KV Core. You have to have them do it internally. You can't do it yourself. But I added them in. I did a little screen share with them, showed them how to use it. They actually have more access to stuff than I realized, but and basically just so they can see the amount of leads that come through, so they can start talking about it. And I'm starting to get some agents and some names through these lenders. Hey, so and so is looking for it, and basically, I'm feeding you buyers and loans. I want names of people that you've talked to that might be open to talking to me about it. So I'm getting some referrals through them that way, and they can just, without any bias, you say, yeah, I'm getting 20, 30, 50 leads a week, 100 leads a week through him, just from, and they don't cost them a penny, just to kind of bag the tools that we have.
That's right. Did you guys get that? That's a nice little golden nugget there. Thank you, David, for sharing. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? Jennifer, what other questions do you have? The multi-level thing, I love that answer, because when they ask me that question, I ask them, tell me what a multi-level is.
Oh. And I like the answer of, well, how is that any different than your broker taking a piece of your sales commissions? Person above you is getting a piece of your action, anybody in between.
Yeah, I just ask them the question. I just zip up. So tell me what you mean by it's a scam. Boy, because if it's a scam, you better show me. I'm going to, tell me why it's a scam.
Hey, Bob Bannicle says, shut up.
Lisa, tell me why it's a scam. Most people don't know what they're talking about. Just call them out on it with a big smile. Tell me why it's a scam.
And I think that's the biggest thing I'm trying to learn, and it's a habit that's hard to form, is not replying with a statement, but with a question.
Yes. They really don't know what they're talking about. All right, guys, come on. What else? If you guys don't have questions, that means you aren't making the calls. There's no magic formula. There's no secret sauce. You got to make the calls. You got to make the calls. You got to get in front of people.
So when you're saying get to a one-on-one with these people instead of kind of leading them to the overviews, in those one-on-ones, I liked how you were saying you were focusing in the conversation about the tools and the opportunities and not the eXp necessarily business model. So are you not utilizing the presentation? You're just talking face to face, like you said, with a notepad, or how are you actually carrying it out?
I do it with a pen and paper. Yes.
Okay.
I do it pen and paper, and I never write the 3 words eXp. I can still write KV Core. I can still write Sky Slope. I can still show them, if they sold the house for $300,000 and the commission's 3%, the GCI is $9,000, 3.5% of that is $315, blah, blah, blah. I can run through all the math.
Yeah.
I had to bring up eXp. I can talk to them about the training, right? I can talk to them about the support. I can talk to them about all of that.
Okay, but you don't ever bring out the presentation at those meetings.
If we dive deeper and there's interest, that yes, then I'll fire up my presentation.
Okay, have it on deck.
Basically, say how would your business change if you had all these tools available to you? How would your business be enhanced if we have this thing called revenue share that's added to your current platform?
I like it.
We're upgrading your real estate platform is what we're really doing.
Yep.
All right. I have a generic presentation where I delete the eXp logo from everything.
Oh, no kidding.
Try grabbing the presentation and delete the logo. delete that from everything, and then show that presentation. And use this perspective. What if there was such a company? What if there was such a platform that gave you all of this? Would you be interested?
That's powerful.
Claudia, is this helping?
Yeah, absolutely. I am trying to get that onto my veins. You know, the more repetition, you get more used to talk about those tricky questions that other agents ask you and you don't know how to overcome.
Yeah.
But thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time and going over such a detailed. I mean, I know that in this short period for you, 22 months, you have done so much, you know? So probably you know every single question that can be asked during these presentations, you know? So it's very interesting how you put it in. We have been working, Devil and I, we have been working for almost 2 months.
Yeah.
We are trying to bring on board a small brokerage. He has 8 agents. So the thing with him is that he doesn't have too much overhead. So his overhead is very little.
Okay.
We have the same split that we have, 80-20.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have done everything that we can, and he's still on the fence.
Well, what's his dream, Claudia? What is his dream?
Well, the last time that I talked to him, he's trying to buy some houses to develop some cash flow. So
Okay.
I told him the same thing that he's trying to do with real estate, he can do the same thing with the revenue share. You know, he worked the system 5-6 years from now. He will get the same income. Obviously, he doesn't have a plan to retire. He owns the company, but he doesn't have a retirement plan, right? So he was trying to buy some houses to get a cash flow, you know, a passive income. So that's what we know.
Yeah. Try to get to what is his what's his dream, what's his goals. Retirement doesn't have to be it. I don't know when I'll retire. I love what I do, but I want the passive income.
This just feels right.
Right? Get down deep in terms of what drives him, what drives people. You know, if he can't work anymore, where's his money going to come from? Who's going to feed his family if he can't work anymore? Those are really hard conversations to have, but if you can get down deep to have these deep, honest conversations, you'll really get them to think about it. And one other thing, guys. So, Claudia, in that instance where you're talking to the broker owner, next time you have a conversation with a guy and he asks you a question, you're going to say, you know what? That is a great question. I know somebody who can speak with you much better than me. Let me get you on the phone with Russ Lagan. He's managed brokerages. He's built brokerages. Or let me get on your phone with Adrian Petrella. Or let me get you on the phone with Tom Truong, with Tracy Lewis. Let them answer the question from their perspective, because they've been where you are now, right? He can't relate to you because you haven't built a brokerage. And we don't want you to be the end all. I'm here for you. Russ is there for you. Adrian's there for you. Trace is there for you. Guys, learn the secret of a three-way call. Right? You don't want to be the end all. Scott Lewis was on a three-way call with me earlier this week. So was Tracy Lewis on a different three-way call. Still today, I leverage them for three-way calls. You guys need to do that as well.
Promise. Excuse me.
Whoever your revenue share upline is, you gotta leverage them to do three-way calls.
So good to see you.
And I love three-way Zoom calls like this.
Oh, Bishop.
Because I can see your reaction. I can see your body movement. I can see your posture. I can see your reaction.
The more important question is, what are you doing? Actually, we're here to talk to his daughter, Claire. Mom.
All right, what else do you guys have? So get that broker on the phone with me, or with Russ and with Adrian, okay?
Okay.
And oh, by the way, when you guys get someone on, when you guys do a three-way call with me or with whomever, for the experienced agents, when we ask a tough question and we zip our mouth, don't you dare speak up and let them off the hook. We want that uncomfortable silence to set in for them to answer the question. Do not let them off the hook when we ask a tough question.
Basically mute ourselves and wait till we're asked.
Just mute yourself. Just let the pros do the work. We have a reason on the questions that we're asking to lead them down the path, or to just make them think. Right? Scott Lewis, when I get him on the phone with a three-way call, you know what Scott's go-to line is? Take a guess. When I get Scott on the line, after I make their introduction, what do you think Scott says next?
Tell me about yourself.
Nope. I already edified Scott, and I already told Scott about that person. Right? I give a one minute introduction for each party. I always edify Scott and Tracy. Right? I don't edify the agent that I'm calling, that I'm trying to prospect. I always edify the upline. I tell the upline about the agent, about their, who they are and how much sales volume they've done and stuff. So as soon as I'm done with my introduction, I allow the agent to ask questions to Scott. I says, I've got Scott online here. What questions do you have for him? Or if Scott beats me to the punch, he goes, what questions do you have for me? And he zips up and I zip up. And that's where the conversation takes us. Because what? They're thinking that we're trying to sell them, but we're not selling them anything. They need to sell us, so they have to have the questions for us. If they don't have questions, then we got to go back to the drawing boards because they're not interested. All right, what else, guys? What else, guys?
I think that might be it. Might let you go enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right, well, make sure if you haven't done so, it's not too late to join the 100-day fast start. Time block is what I suggest you guys do. Time block the time to make the agent attraction calls and stick to it.
I do have a quick question about that, though. My Zoom kept cutting out yesterday, so I only got a few bits and pieces of it. Are they sending out the rest of that information? I guess I could ask you a different time.
Yeah. Yes. If they haven't sent it to you yet, then make sure you reach out to what's his name?
Support John Rozak.
Yes,
right?
John Rozak. Yep.
Send an email to support@teamdisruptor.com.
Support@teamdisruptor.com. Correct. Or just ping John Rozak directly from Workplace or something, or from Team Disruptors. Yep. Do you guys have an accountability partner if you're in that program? Even if you don't have even if you aren't doing the 100 Fast Start program, do you have an accountability partner?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, you got to get one. Okay, someone who can be tough with you and hold you accountable. You're gonna give them your goals, and they're gonna stay on top of you, and you need to do the same thing for them. It's pretty important. Everyone have a wealth chart. Is everyone working on the wealth chart? Got to have a wealth chart. I have my wealth chart all the time with me. I have it here. on my black book that I carry around. I'll show you. There's my wealth chart. There's my 40 wide. And I'm working on my next 15, right? My goal is to get to 55 wide with 40 qualifiers. I even have my level 2s and who they are. I build my level 1 for sure, and I focus on my level 2 and my level 3. And my wealth chart goes, this is my monthly numbers right here. Every month I track how many on my first level, second level, third level, fourth level, how much my revenue share is. I carry this stuff around. Okay, I track everyone on my team who has 4 or more personals, and I focus on them to get them to get to the next level. You build 5 at a time. Just focus on 5 agents at a time. When you hit 5, you go to 10. When you hit 10, you go to 15. So I coach all of my team members how to get there. Okay. So do you have all this stuff with you? Let me show you my my 100th day plan. I just started it here. Let me show you. Look at that, boys and girls. That's my 100 days. Right here is my level 1. I've talked to 20 new people on my level 1. I've talked to 21 new people on my level 2. These are my sellers. These are my buyers. All right. These are my to-do list on a daily basis. This board is massive. Do you have a big wealth chart? All right. How big is your dream? Is it smacking you in the face every day? We're good?
Think so.
Have a good night, everybody.
Happy birthday again, Tom. Thank you.
Here, Trey. All right. Sweet dreams, everybody.